Hello, welcome to Hall's Elementary School presentation. Before I dive into our overview, I would first like to introduce myself and my colleagues who contributed to this presentation. My name is Elizabeth Tapia, and I am from Chicago, Illinois. I have been in applied behavior analysis, also known as ABA, for over 2 years now. I am currently a registered behavior technician, also known as RBT, and this is my third semester at Ball State University. Next, there is Colleen Kelly, who is an instructor therapist from Ontario, Canada. Kelly has been an ABA for 7 years and is currently in her fourth semester at Ball State University. Next, there is James Strong, who is a financial analyst from Indianapolis, Indiana. James currently does not have experience in ABA and is in his third semester at Ball State University. My next colleague is Jennifer Watt, who is a lead preschool teacher in a special needs daycare from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Jennifer has been in the ABA field for 9 years and is on her fourth semester at Ball State University. The next team member is Jasmine Tate, who is a line behavior technician from Hammond, Louisiana. Jasmine has been in the ABA field for 1.5 years and is currently in her third semester at Ball State University. The last member I will be introducing is Macy Mercer, a RBT from West Monroe, Louisiana. Macy has been in the ABA field since February 2018 and is currently on her third semester at Ball State University. Halls Elementary provides services for students that are in pre-K through third grade. The school that holds around 500 students are currently facing dilemmas ever since it was reported that their facility had the lowest reading and math levels in the district. Specifically, half of the students at Halls Elementary School are functionally 2 or more years behind in their academics. Another dilemma regarding the school are the inappropriate behaviors that occur in the hallways. Inappropriate behaviors include running up and down the hallways, running out of the building, and hiding in one of the hallways. It has come to a point where the staff are needed to make an all call every day when there is a pre-K or kindergarten student hiding in the hallways. The consequence that was established by the school for these inappropriate behaviors is for the staff to write an office disciplinary referral, also known as ODR. Since implementing this consequence, within a year, 75% of the 500 students received ODRs during the beginning of the day, during lunchtime, and towards the end of the day when there are multiple classrooms in the hallway. Those who received the most ODRs were the pre-K and kindergarten students. According to office data, the majority of the ODRs were written to multiple offenders. 50% of those students received either 4 or more ODRs in a year. To reduce the frequency of the current dilemmas, some teachers are beginning to develop rules when being in the hallways. A rule that was established by some of the teachers include having the students walk with either hands folded or in their pockets. Other students feel it is necessary to have the students walk in a single file line or walk in a double line. The teachers who prefer the double line technique instruct the students to create an all girls line and an all boys line. While these rules are forced by some teachers, all students in the school must walk on the right side of the hallway. Halls Elementary currently have 6 special education teachers who focus on students while reading with reading disabilities and 5 special teachers that teach art, music, and physical education. These teachers, when possible, also help with supervision. Lastly, each grade level at Halls Elementary have a leader who also take part at the school-wide committees. Unfortunately, it has been reported that teachers are spending more of their time yelling at the students about their behavior during their arrival, their lunchtime, and their dismissal, instead of focusing on academic activities for the students. Halls Elementary have a total of 4 hallways, but only have 2 instructional assistants to supervise the hallways during transitioning. Administration does not have any funding to hire more staff for the dilemmas that were mentioned. I'll now be passing the presentation over to my colleague, James, who will go over the research background for positive reinforcement. James?
Providing a research background is important because it provides a foundation of the major concepts within our presentation. More specifically, for our project, the two main concepts are positive reinforcement and class dojo. So how does positive reinforcement work? An example of positive reinforcement could be a student who wrote a paper over a topic so well that his or her teacher rewarded them with extra credit points. And why does positive reinforcement work so well? Well, it works so well because who doesn't like to feel good after they have done something well? And who doesn't like to be rewarded for doing something correctly? In today's society, schools are constrained by tight budgets, and teachers can only do so much. So instead of focusing on negative behaviors, many schools are now starting to focus on positive behaviors and reinforcing them. One way schools have done this is through the implementation of Class Dojo. Since Class Dojo's inception, the program has gained popularity quickly throughout many schools within the United States. This program can be accessed and monitored by the use of a computer, smartphone, or any device that can connect to the internet. One of the features many students as well as faculty enjoy is the ease of the program and understanding what is expected. Faculty members are able to reward students immediately for good behavior, which is a key component of why positive reinforcement works and promotes positivity. If a student is rewarded days later, then that reinforcement will not be as great compared to if that student is reinforced immediately. Finally, faculty are able to monitor all aspects of behavior of the class and individuals real time and identify any trends or problem areas so they can be addressed and corrected. Now I will hand it over to my colleague, Jennifer.
I am now going to show you how to use the Class Dojo in conjunction with verbal positive reinforcement. You can see at the top of the page right here, you have all of your students in your class, as well as an option to look at the whole class. Class Dojo allows you to give out points to students for doing something well. For an example, let's say Jennifer helped out a classmate. You can reward her by giving her a point by clicking on her name and giving her a point for helping others. You just rewarded Jennifer with a point. If the entire class did something you want to reward them with a point for, simply click on the whole class, and you can choose from the skill set what you want to give all the students a point for. So everyone was on task. Let's give everyone a point for being on task. In addition, you can change the skill set you want to reward students for. This can be done by going to the options section and clicking on the edit button. You can change the skills based on the skill set of the students in your classroom. Class Dojo is not only an effective way to reinforce certain behaviors, but it is also simple and can be easily learned. I now pass you on to Colleen, who will go over the training materials.
Thanks, Jennifer. To train staff, there will be limited training materials necessary. In addition to items necessary for hosting a whole body of staff, tables, chairs, refreshments, a computer, projector, and wireless internet would be needed to ensure successful presentations on the discussion topics and the modeling of the use of Class Dojo to the staff. It would be ideal to have writing utensils available on the tables so that staff can take notes or write down any questions. Paper copies of the training handouts for staff would be needed. These include the positive reinforcement handout, which summarizes what positive reinforcement is and provides examples of what positive reinforcement might look like, as well as quick tips for when providing positive reinforcement. Next is the introduction handout to Class Dojo, which briefly highlights features of the application that may be relevant to the staff in their school day. Finally, a copy of the data collection sheet for the office disciplinary referrals was provided to help staff develop a strong understanding of how the data will be collected. This is done in an effort to solidify the significance of the data collection in determining the effectiveness of the intervention program at Halls Elementary. The training method that is used by the school board, BCBA, and the Class Dojo mentor is the Behavior Skills Training Model, or the BST model. This model includes 4 phases. The first is instructions. In this phase, the school board BCBA provides instruction on positive reinforcement, and the Class Dojo mentor provides instruction on the Class Dojo application. In phase 2, modeling, school board BCBA and Class Dojo mentor will model the use of positive reinforcement, including but not limited to providing positive reinforcement through Class Dojo application. Phase 3 will provide staff an opportunity to rehearse what they have learned, while Phase 4 is when the instructors will provide feedback to the staff on their delivery of positive reinforcement and the use of a Class Dojo application. So I will now pass you off to my colleague, Jasmine.
Why is there a need for change? Majority of the office referrals comes from students that are in pre-K and kindergarten. The problem occurring from these students are the students are engaging in problem behaviors. The students are reported to engage in running up and down the hallways or running and hiding in the hallways. There have been times when the intercom system calls for students missing in classroom. This raises a huge concern for safety and concerns for professionals and students. Implementing Class Dojo would help teachers to develop rules or regulations and monitor students' behaviors and reward them with positive reinforcements for displaying positive behaviors. The Class Dojo also offers an invitation to parents to monitor their children's progress and behaviors. I will now pass this out to my colleague, Macy.
Thank you, Jasmine. After the personal development day, teachers are almost ready to begin the implementation, but first, they must complete one more planning step. This imperative aspect is the preference assessment, which decides which items will be used as rewards. Once this is completed, implementation may begin. Teachers will provide praise and tokens for appropriate behaviors. Students may use these tokens to exchange for prizes. Teachers must be aware of delivering reinforcement immediately and only following the appropriate behavior. Students will earn verbal praise in addition to tokens they may exchange for said reinforcers. Class Dojo will also be a prominent aspect of intervention, as this will be used to track progress. Information from Class Dojo, teacher and student surveys, and disciplinary referrals will be used to determine the effectiveness of the implementation. This concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for listening about Class Dojo and positive reinforcement in classrooms.